Alignment, such a simple thing, but so many golfers get it wrong. We all do it sometimes, we all miss aim, and that affects our swing. Let's go through some simple tips to help you get consistent with your aiming. What we commonly see with a lot of golfers, particularly slicers this world, they tend to aim right. And when you aim right, and your brain tells you the target's over here, automatically you're going to want to swing more left or close that club face down with a flippy action normally to make the ball go where you think it should. So there's many techniques, and I'll go through the common mistakes people make. First thing I've done here is put 2 alignment rods down, roughly in a line to represent the target, and they're obviously closer to us than the target, which helps us for perception when we're aiming. I've also got a white line on the ground with some spray paint, spray athlete's foot spray, just to give us an idea of what square is and 90 degrees to that line is. So these are things you can do when you're practicing to help. The key is with practicing, you don't want too many aids down all the time because then you don't learn how to aim. We very much want to learn how to aim and test if we're aiming correctly. One of the big things I'm going to teach you today is about your head tilt and how you look at target. The second common thing I see people do is they put the feet down too much and respond and don't move the feet again. So what we see, this is golfer number 1. They might do a practice swing, they might not. Then they step up to the golf ball, look at the target. No real idea of how they're aimed from there, perception wise. It's just what's comfortable and how they've stood originally, and they don't adjust. Golfer number 2 might well do a nice pre-shot routine, stand behind the ball and aim, step in, but they put both feet in, and then again, they won't move too much. This is where they are. What you see with most pro golfers is they'll take the time picking a spot to aim at, 3 to 5 inches in front of the ball ideally, aim the club head at 90 degrees to that without taking a stance as such. Then take the stance parallel to that line and then get comfortable. And then when they're in this position here, the key thing then is to use your eyes correctly to adjust. So when I'm looking at the target, I very much want to go this way. And if I can see the target pretty quickly, I know I've aimed nicely. If I've aimed to the right, I do this, I can't see the target, I can't see the target, I can't see the target, I can't see the target. Now I can see out my peripheral vision. But I've almost got to look across my shoulders and over my left shoulder, and this shoulder's in vision. If I'm aimed correctly, that shoulder doesn't come into vision at all. So if you're seeing your left shoulder, you're either setting up with a shoulder like this, which again we don't want, or you're aiming to the right. You can, obviously you see the golfer on the course as well doing this, you can do that, but again you have to have a very good spot and link that up and get that line drawn through there to help. And for me, break it down to smaller segments, aim the club at something here, so again you could put a tee in the ground here, aim the club head 90 degrees to that, practice getting your feet parallel to that line, your forearms parallel to that line, and then when you're in position, making your swing, trying to feel you can hit it over those sticks. That one was beautifully straight. And if it starts to feel awkward when you're doing that, it starts to feel like you're aiming way left or way right when you're taking the correct stance position, then you know on the golf course you're not doing that the same way. Whatever happens on the golf course, whether you aim incorrect or correct, you have to trust it and commit to the shot. There's nothing worse than thinking, oh, I felt like I was aiming right and still hitting the shot, because you're not going to hit that ball with any conviction or trust. And that is the biggest sin of all. So we need to practice the skill of aiming because it causes swing issues. If I was aiming left all the time, it's a better issue because you tend to drop it on the inside, which is a much stronger way to play. And it's sometimes a drill I give to people who come over the top. Aim way left and try and push the ball right, because it's a way of kind of shallowing that swing out. And if you remember Lee Trevino, when he played, and he probably still does it now, he used to do that. He used to aim left and kind of push, cut everything onto target. And it's a really strong way to get your body in a dynamic position through impact. And certainly as a drill, I recommend that heavily. The other thing you can obviously do is put a stick on the ground to check your alignment. But again, if you're just setting up to the stick every single time, I don't believe you're learning. I believe you're adjusting. What we need to do is almost test it then put a stick down and see if it's in the right position, and then start to allow your swing to free fall. But the head tilt for me is the real game changer to check your alignment, both on the range and on the golf course. So calibrate on the range how much you have to move your head to see the target. Once you know you set up correctly, and then on the golf course, check that that's the same amount. If it is, happy days, commit and hit the shot. If you're a slice of this world, check this aim first. Aiming more left is going to give you more golf course to work with. If you're aiming left already as a slicer, then I probably wouldn't aim right. I'd probably just try and use your brain to hit the ball more left first. That gives you, again, more golf course to work with. We don't want to take someone that hits the ball to the right and aim them further right without changing their pattern of swing. If we do that, they're going to be hitting the ball out of play, out of bounds more often. Scoring higher, which is not what I'm about. I want you to score lower. I want you to swing better. I want you to understand more. I don't want you to get too cluttered in your brain, so make sure the things you think about are relevant and correct for you, and you take them to the course and own them.